Okay, I have a question, Heath, and I want you to answer. What can a man do to feel comfortable to come to his wife who has a whole bunch of good ideas or help make things that she can enhance because that's what she's there for? But how does he come to the wife if he's feeling kind of vulnerable or it may be a weakness? It's not like his strength. How does he come and still be the man and the leader and still feel good about himself, even though it might be a weakness or and he feels vulnerable and he's not really that great in that area? How can he come strong to his wife who can really help?
That's a good question. You have to know that you're not that good in that stuff, in that area.
How do you be okay with that though? Because I think
that just takes time.
Okay.
That takes time because being okay with it is messaging that you're hearing other people from your past tell you are about that. Like, you're no good at this, you're no good at that. Even if that other person is even if that person is yourself, based upon the values that you have, based upon what you perceive yourself as being, but you know yourself as not actually having achieved that yet. And so you may look down on yourself. It's a lot of negative self-speak, a lot of negative self-value that you may have about yourself that won't make you okay with the fact that you don't know this, or you're not this person, or you don't have these things. So that is not something that will rectify itself by anybody externally telling you otherwise. You have to work on yourself with that. So let's say you do accept that, okay, I need to work on myself with that. Then what are the mechanics or what are the mechanisms that you need to do to actually be okay with coming forward? There's two things. You need to understand what you don't know. And then you need to present the information to your spouse and phrase it like, I'm thinking about these things. What do you think? Say it just like that. I'm thinking about these things. What do you think? Because it puts yourself in a position of, I don't know. Let me get your input so that I can make a decision. Right. And that is an empowering position because you're soliciting information to help you make a decision. And you have to, if you're getting the feedback back from your spouse, like, this is what you should do, accept it as that's what they're recommending that I should do, not telling me I should do. Right. And then that way you will allow yourself the mental space to, one, work through the fact that you are upset at yourself because you have to go to this person. And two, it gives you the power that I'm going to take all this information that I have, I'm going to analyze it myself, and then I will come back with a decision and share that with you. And then that's the third thing. You need to follow up and share. Okay, I've decided this. So what are your thoughts? Come back again. Yeah, that's you didn't ask that, but I know to round this whole thing out, you need to come back and say, okay, this is what I've decided that we should do. Whoop, up the bam. Based on what you told me, and then I went back, and so this, that, and the third, blah blah blah, and then say, what do you think about that? Okay. Because she may have some more information that, based upon this new information that you've given her, that you need to go back and reprocess. So don't come back. Don't accept that your decision is final. Accept that your decision is anywhere between 60 to 80% of the final decision. Like, okay, this is the 60 to 80% of like what I'm going to do. I'm sharing this with you so I can get information to make the other, to fill in the other 20 or 40%. Does that make sense? Yep. That makes sense?
It does.
You were going to say something, Kev?
I had a question within it. Something that I used to do that I've since not been as good at doing it consistently is, I have an initial thought about something, processing an idea, processing in general, and I'll share like the root as soon as I get the thought with fairies, and I'll be looking for more of like an appetizer towards the thought. And what I'll get sometimes is like the meal is made, and I'm trying to work on, because it was so helpful when I used to do it a lot more. Saying in a very husband-like manner, like, hey, I'm having this initial thought. How can I just share it to where I am getting maybe a 10 or 15 minute kind of conversation towards whatever I just broke off or So instead of like 3 hours or something like that, towards
Oh
something.
my
It's
God.
only 3 hours when Kevin talks in circles, and then it's like, what did you say? It's not that, but I get you. I understand that. You should go back to that. You should go because I felt
But hold on,
apart.
did you have a question for me?
The question was,
Okay.
how can I used to actually say something, probably not in the best way, that I just want to advertise to this.
Okay.
Not the main course, and that wouldn't come off right at all whatsoever.
Yeah, so you
but
don't say that. You
I'm
say
looking for
what you
a-
want.
possibly like a terminology or a way of
Right.
going about it to where I am being respectful as a husband to my wife, to say
I only want just
your
Real
your
quick.
general thoughts, your
Yeah.
very general thoughts,
Right.
not
so 2 things. One, you need to recognize who you're asking. That's first off breaks. You need to recognize who you're asking, because if you're asking a chef for a quick breakdown of a appetizer, they're going to give you a chef's version of a quick breakdown of appetizer. So you need to understand that you're asking a chef about how to break down the appetizer. So you need to then, if you want a quick high level bullet point, you need to scale back the scope of your ask. And what I mean by that is, don't ask for like, what do you think about this idea? Ask her about a smaller portion of the idea that you are thinking about, because then that will narrow her scope of view about what she comments on.
hypothetically. Let's say that someone does that.
I agree with you though, Heath. That would be helpful for me.
But immediately the follow-up would be like, why are you asking me this? What's the meat and potatoes?
Yeah. So
of
then the response would be, I'm just thinking about 2 things and I wanted to get your input on stuff. And then she would probably ask, well, what are you thinking about? I'll get back to you. I'm just ruminating on some things.
I think, yeah, it's just the follow up to the thing. If it ever goes, if it needs to, go in that direction. Honestly, if you just say I need something quick, that's cool too. I can, all the things Heath said, I can do that.
Okay. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
believe it.
If you want to see another clip of this episode, click right here. If you want to see the full episode, click here.